The Memphis Mafia hid Elvis's secrets for decades. This inner circle included David Stanley, not merely Elvis's stepbrother. He was his bodyguard, assistant, and facilitator. Stanley thinks Elvis intentionally took the medications that killed him at 73. Elvis liked 15-year-old females, he says. World turned away. Fans ignored it. But his other revelations were far more stunning. A little two-room cottage in Tupelo, Mississippi, was where Elvis Presley was born early on January 8, 1935. But he had company. Jesse, his twin brother, was born 35 minutes earlier. Jesse perished, was stillborn. That moment tormented the Presleys forever. Gladys, Elvis's mother, never recovered. Elvis received all her love, anxiety, and hopes, like he lived for two. They couldn't afford a headstone for Jesse, so they buried him unmarked. Elvis often spoke to Jesse alone. He believed Jesse offered him strength and two people's energy. Elvis was impoverished. It was too expensive for the family to utilize the electricity in their small residence. Water was carried from a neighboring well. Cornmeal was cheap. Elvis was 3 when his father Vernon was imprisoned for forging a $4 check and served 8 months. Gladys had to sell their home and move in with relatives. Elvis turned 13 after living in at least 6 houses. He was teased for bringing gravy-covered biscuits for lunch and wearing homemade clothes to school. They survived on government aid and neighbor help. But that rough life had music. Elvis founded a church. He experienced something strong at the First Assembly of God in East Tupelo at age 9. The church embraced loud, cheerful, emotive music. Frank Smith, a pastor, taught Elvis guitar chords after seeing him. Elvis's how-to book existed. He had that, but couldn't afford much. Gospel singing was his passion. It calmed him. Gospel singing continued throughout his life, even after concerts. Mississippi was crumbling in the 1930s. Insects destroyed cotton farms. A 1927 deluge flooded entire communities. Everyone was crushed by the Great Depression. But that mess created something rare. Despite segregation, poor white and black families lived together. Elvis's family resided in a black area. When he could, he listened to black gospel and blues. At night, he listened to WDIA radio, where B.B. Elvis later incorporated King's raw music into his own sound. Not many white youngsters were allowed near that music. Nobody stopped Elvis. The Presleys moved to Memphis in 1948 with everything they possessed. Vernon heard about jobs. Elvis felt he had entered a new universe. His new school had 1,600 pupils. I was overwhelmed. After one day, he ran home. A year later, they moved into Lauderdale Courts, a public housing project that altered everything. Beale Street was nearby, where blues lived. Elvis started attending Ellis Auditorium gospel concerts. He soaked up radio, street, and church music every day. Gladys purchased Elvis his first guitar on his 11th birthday in Tupelo. He wanted a rifle or bike, but she refused. She bought him $7.90 guitar. It altered everything. Self-taught musician. He couldn't read music. He absorbed information by listening. He was loud, energetic, and physical. Strings snapped frequently. He created a crazy gospel blues country sound. Elvis looked odd in Humes High School, dress pants and movie star hairstyle. People considered him odd. He was shy and silent. April 1953 brought the talent show. Nobody expected much, but the crowd went crazy when he sang on stage. Sung 2 songs. They demanded an encore. The bashful boy became a school celebrity overnight. Elvis worked many occupations after graduating. His occupation was theater usher. A fight with another got him fired. Some drama over a female offering him free chocolates. He worked in a tool shop, constructed furniture, and helped a rabbi switch on Sabbath lights. He had his biggest job in 1954. Crown Electric delivery truck driver. He scratched his favorite stations onto the dashboard since he couldn't read the radio dial. He practiced music wherever he worked. He walked Beale Street at night to absorb the blues. He met B.B. King. He observed club musicians. White kids rarely visited those sites. Elvis didn't care. Afterward, he continued, "They'd been singing that way for years. I boosted it." He meant it. He gave the juke joints music his own energy. Elvis bought 2 records from Sun Records in 1953 as a birthday present for his mother. Nothing occurred. He returned months later to record 2 additional songs. Sam Phillips, the studio owner, scrawled his name but didn't say much. In a modest Memphis studio on July 5, 1954, something unexpected happened. Elvis Presley, 19, experimented with an old blues song. "Mama, It's Okay." It was unplanned. The Polish was lacking. But when guitarist Scotty Moore and bassist Bill Black joined, everything clicked. The noise was wild. It wasn't rural. It wasn't blue. Both and neither. Sun studio owner Sam Phillips heard it and ordered them to try again. This time, he recorded, that night's music became rockabilly. It changed everything. 2 weeks later, on July 19th, the song debuted on the radio. One Memphis DJ, Dewey Phillips, played it. Then again, once again. Some say he played it 14 times that night. The phones kept ringing. Many wondered who this voice belonged to. Was he black or white? Dewey inquired about Elvis's secondary school. Elvis mentioned Hume's High. One answer said he was white. He had a dark music voice and beat. It stunned everyone. Several shows followed. More noise. People couldn't believe their eyes or ears. Next came the big step. They hired Louisiana hayride drummer DJ Fontana. With him, Elvis's band was complete. As the Blue Moon Boys, they played hard, sometimes 3 gigs a day. Critics sneered, fans screamed. They kept going even if some towns didn't want them. Scotty's guitar danced, Bill's bass slapped, DJ's drums punched, and Elvis, that man moved like nobody else. Colonel Parker saw behind the scenes. He wasn't a colonel, but he sold fast. In August 1955, he managed Elvis. Not official, but close. It was finished in March 1956. Parker took full control and wasted no time. Deals were made. Stole 25% of Elvis's money, then 50%. Selling I Love Elvis and I Hate Elvis buttons made him money from Elvis haters. Parker's product concept earned $22 million in 1 year. Elvis was coveted by RCA Victor that year. Contract owner Sam Phillips demanded $35,000. That was unprecedented. RCA agreed. Payments included $35,000 and $5,000 in royalties. The sale closed November 21, 1955. Elvis joined RCA. He was 20, yet everything was about to grow. Elvis entered RCA Studio B in Nashville 2 months later, on January 10, 1956. It was 2 days after his 21st birthday. His song Heartbreak Hotel was inspired on a suicide note that said, "I stroll a lonely street." Dark lyrics. The sound seemed odd. Echoes in a hallway gave it a haunting feel, but it worked. The song reached number 68 on Billboard on March 3rd. It topped the charts by May 5th. The stay was 7 weeks. It ended 1956 as the best-selling single. Not everyone liked it. Elvis sang Hound Dog, The Milton Berle Show on June 5, 1956. Movement of his hips, shaking his legs. America went insane. The press assaulted him. Parents raged. The preachers called him Elvis the Pelvis. TV stations either banned him or required waist-up footage. The kids adored it. The louder grown-ups screamed, the more teens bought his music. Even Ed Sullivan, who previously deemed Elvis unsuitable for family TV, caved. Elvis debuted on Sullivan's show September 9, 1956. 60 million watched. Not for long, cameras displayed his complete body. By his third appearance in January 1957, he was solely filmed waist up. But damage was done. Now he was everywhere. His wealth increased. Very rich. Elvis never disputed his musical origins in interviews. He openly discussed black singers. He stated that they've been singing this way for years, just sped up. The huge boy, Arthur, was mentioned. The first That's All Right singer. He addressed Fats Domino, the true king. He meant it. Little Richard considered Elvis an integrator who introduced black music to white audiences. RCA couldn't meet demand. In 1 year, they sold 10 million Elvis singles. Heartbreak Hotel doubled platinum. 3 million teddy bears sold. Fierce Woman sold 1.65 million. Sales dropped to 2.68 million. Even after Elvis joined the Army in 1958, the hits continued. RCA kept unreleased songs to keep him on the charts. It works. While in uniform, A Big Hunk of Love topped the charts. Elvis Presley was America's biggest celebrity when enlisted into the Army on March 24, 1958. He had millions of admirers, sold-out gigs, and repeat hits. Suddenly, everything stopped. Some believed his career was over. 2 years out of the spotlight? That might ruin any star's momentum. Elvis's choice was startling. He declined preferential treatment to entertain troops. He desired regular soldierhood. He joined the 3rd Armored Division and worked like everyone else. That one move changed his image with parents, teachers, and critics. They considered him patriotic, courteous, and serious. For once, they didn't mind his hip shaking. They admired him. Although his image was cleaned up, something evil crept in. Elvis discovered amphetamines in Germany. They kept soldiers alert during long night shifts. Elvis appreciated their effect. Sharp, energetic, concentrated. The barbiturates helped him sleep. He lived with that cycle of uppers to wake up and downers to sleep for life. He was also grieving. He was devastated when his mother Gladys died before he departed for Germany. Drugs eased his suffering. A new chapter began. He met 14-year-old Priscilla Beaulieu in Germany. He married her later. His romance began in service and continued at home. His image was cleaner, and he was discharged on March 5, 1960, ready to marry. A new addiction he couldn't shake. 17 years later, addiction killed him. His body contained 14 medications when he died. 10 were hazardous. Hollywood called again at home. Elvis went directly to movies. At first they looked good. By 1962, everything was predictable. Almost every film featured him as a charming singer surrounded by gorgeous women, beach parties, or race cars. From 1960 to 1968, he made 21 pictures, sometimes 4, each year. Each included 10 to 12 songs. They were mostly forgettable. Formula worked at the box office but crushed his spirit. Breaking out was his goal. Flaming Star and Wild in the Country were more serious, fewer music, more acting. They didn't earn much. Colonel Parker dragged him back to the formula. Only worsened. Elvis rolled his eyes at Haram Scarum, Clam Bake, and Spin Out. He sobbed after filming Easy Come, Easy Go. He informed his friends that this was the outcome. I'm a singing bellboy. Due to poor screenplays, one critic stated he played the same Elvis in different uniforms: war vet, race car driver, beach bum, etc. But the money kept coming. His films grossed $175 million from 1956 to 1969. It's over $1.4 billion today. Most films cost $2.5 million, but gross double or treble that. Blue Hawaii earned $4.2 million. Viva Vegas earned $4.7 million. Cheap, Foolish Ones profited too. Tickle Me. made $3 million on $1.8 million. Soundtrack sales fell, but films kept the money coming. Hollywood bosses stopped calling them movies in memos, named cash registers. They ignored reviews. They wanted every Elvis film to earn $750,000 in Japan and Germany, no matter how awful. But one film altered everything. Elvis met Anne Margaret during Viva Las Vegas filming in summer 1963. She was no ordinary co-star. He and she had equal enthusiasm, talent, and charisma. Instant sparks. Their on-screen chemistry carried over into real life. Elvis plummeted. He gave her pink Cadillac, wore similar gold bracelets, and called her his female twin. But there was an issue. Back in Germany, Priscilla waited. As soon as the affair was reported, she was outraged. She called Graceland and offered Elvis her or Anne. Priscilla was his choice, but he never fully left Anne Margaret. He gave her guitar-shaped flowers before every Vegas show until his death. She said so decades later. The formula finished in 1969. The Elvis wanted out. His last film, Change of Habit, debuted on November 10, 1969. This was different. The actor played a doctor in a poor New York neighborhood. His lover? A Mary Tyler Moore nun. The story addressed racism, poverty, mental health, and church reform. It was flawed. A scene employing rage treatment on an autistic child hasn't aged well. The effort was there. Elvis wants respect again. The picture cost $3.2 million and was more serious. Criticism was harsh. One termed it well-meaning but naive. The ending yielded no closure. The nun may have sworn to Elvis. Maybe not. No one knew. However, something had changed. His final film was Change of Habit. In retrospect, it was the only one who tried to say something real. Elvis married Priscilla May 1st, 1967 in Vegas. A brief ceremony lasted 8 minutes. It finished at 9 a.m. Colonel Tom Parker planned it to generate headlines, but just 14 guests attended. The vows were followed by a press conference and a $10,000 champagne luncheon for 100 individuals. Elvis's close pal, Red West, was excluded. It produced major stress behind the scenes. Elvis and Priscilla flew to Palm Springs for a brief honeymoon after the celebration. 3 calm weeks at a property near Mississippi followed. Elvis later admitted he enjoyed house parties. It was a rare moment of quiet, but their private lives was far from it. In Elvis and Me, 1985, Priscilla described Elvis's influence over her. He promised a pal she could train any way he wanted when she was a teenager. He chose her clothes. He advised her on hair and makeup. Someone in his group stated she looked like a doll he dressed up. Elvis also gave her medications without identifying them. She wrote about sleeping pills knocking her out for 2 days. He also gave her amphetamines for school fatigue. LSD was tried jointly, which scared her. He flipped on her when she asked about other ladies. He threatened to return her to Memphis. Once she was crying, he'd reconsider. It was emotional war. Priscilla had Lisa Marie Presley on February 1st, 1968. 9 months had passed practically to the day after the wedding. Elvis was anxious about fatherhood. Priscilla was 7 months pregnant when he requested a trial separation. After Lisa was born, he changed, named his private jet after her. It was his constant touring vehicle. They didn't last. Elvis and Priscilla split 1972. Lisa Marie was 4. She resided with her mother in Los Angeles, but visited Graceland during school breaks. The night her father died, August 16, 1977, she was at Graceland. She'd just turned 9. That moment plagued her forever. Lisa inherited Elvis's estate with her grandfather Vernon and great-grandmother Minnie May. She inherited alone, after death. His marriage had been failing for years. Elvis's adultery was revealed to Priscilla in the worst way. At an Orlando panel in 2025, she said she found letters from ladies thanking Elvis for intimate invitations. One note wrote, "Charlie Hodge requested me to come up, and I'm delighted you greeted me." Elvis denied everything when she confronted him. He made her regret asking. Eventually, she gave up. She claimed you had no life. You lived his. By the early 1970s, she was having an affair with her karate instructor, Mike Stone. In a 2017 interview, she revealed both partners' adultery ended the marriage. He was unreliable. I didn't want to share him. She said she never stopped loving him. She left to find herself. Their October 1973 divorce was final. She initially agreed to $100,000 in small monthly payments, but her new lawyers demanded more. Finally, she received $725,000 in continued support. 5% of Elvis's publishing companies and half of their Beverly Hills home sale. She continued. Biss & Beau, Priscilla's L.A. boutique, opened that year. She represented Cher, Barbra Streisand, and Diana Ross. Priscilla was Elvis's executor after his 1977 death. Disaster struck. Graceland's annual maintenance cost $500,000. Lisa's inheritance fell to $1 million. Priscilla acted boldly. She opened Graceland as a museum. Opening day was June 7, 1982. The bet worked. It repaid its costs in 4 weeks. The estate became a $100 million empire under Priscilla. Elvis made one of the greatest music comebacks throughout this. On December 3, 1968, NBC aired Singer Presents. Steve Binder, the director, changed Elvis's Christmas special. Raw and thrilling were his goals. Mr. Elvis agreed. In June, he filmed solo stand-up and fan sit-downs. The highlight was Elvis in black leather. The look was famous. The final song, If I Can Dream, was written for him. Elvis insisted, despite Parker's objections. The show attracted 42% of TV viewers. Top-rated show of the season. Elvis was returning, everyone knew. Las Vegas followed. Elvis played at the new International Hotel in Las Vegas on July 31, 1969. Every seat in the 2,000-person room was taken. He performed 57 gigs in 4 weeks, sometimes 2 every night. Fans numbered in the hundreds. Some flew from Europe to see him. Excellent reviews. He kept returning. 7 years, 636 sold-out concerts. Priscilla termed opening night wonderful. Friend, Elvis looked like a tiger released. His new dominion was Vegas. Elvis required a band for this era. He requested guitarist James Burton to create one. The TCB band began then. It meant lightning-fast business. Elvis had that insignia on his jet, jewelry, and firearms. The band includes James Burton, Jerry Sheff, Ronnie Tutt, Larry Mahobarak, and John Wilkinson. Later backing vocalists were the Sweet Inspirations and Imperials. Elvis made personal TCB necklaces for his friends. His Vegas concerts were extravagant. Rhinestone jumpsuits. He moved in a martial way. He distributed scarves mid-show. Elvis was energized. Elvis never abandoned gospel. He earned his first Grammy for How Great Thou Art in 1967. It included slow hymns and upbeat spirituals. He won another Grammy with He Touched Me in 1972. It was recorded with the Imperials and other gospel greats. The album was gold in 1992 and platinum in 1999. November 1976 saw Elvis meet Ginger Alden. She was 20. He was 41. After 2 months, he proposed with a $70,000 diamond ring. That should have been a dream. It wasn't. Ginger woken to a loud bang one night. Elvis held a .357 Magnum at the foot of the bed. She saw a hole in the wall above her. His reason for firing was she didn't bring yogurt. Ginger stayed despite astonishment. It happened again. Elvis was furious about a running toilet. He destroyed it with a machine gun, Ginger said. A disagreement over his juice consumption in Hawaii led to his slapping her. "No one ever leaves me when I'm talking," he told her. She was under his influence from the start. He said, "I'll decide," when she begged to ride in his Ferrari. He then presented her a diamond-encrusted gold Elvis bracelet.